All right. Is there a need to talk to your ex?
X factor.
Is there a need to
Is there
talk to your
need?
ex?
There is no need per se. I mean, a need is, there is, when you're finding a need, like a reason, a very strong, compelling reason to speak to them, not really. If you don't really have something to talk about and they have nothing to talk about, and it's not on a ground where it's other than a relationship, or revisiting the past, or maybe it's not for closure, then there's no real need to speak to your ex. What for? I mean, just move on with life, meet new people, and it's going to be fine.
I really think that it depends on how you ended your relationship. You can end it in a good way and still become friends. But then again, why revisit the past?
It's a tricky one, right?
Yeah, I think you can talk to your ex, but it must be a casual communication, whereby there's no driving force or there's nothing that is compelling me to talk about to my ex, and I'm not like the thing going back to the files. So if you're just talking, maybe because at times these ex are the people that we meet every day. There's not someone who is in Burundi and I'm in Kenya. It's the people that maybe we meet every day at place of work probably, or you find them maybe in a college, or you're going to church, the same church, you see. But now it just become a normal communication.
Maybe
but
we
nothing
need to just stretch it and talk about how should people handle breakups? How should they go about that? Even before we get into the place of
Exes.
should we talk to the ex? How should people handle? How should I break up? Let's see.
Wow, it depends on why you were breaking up. I mean, what is it that actually led to the breakup, right? Mm. Because if it was something that, you both agreed on, and you even had that kind of closure, and you just realized that, we're not meant for each other. If it was something like dramatic, like, oh, they cheated on you, and, something happened out there, and you decided to go, yeah, I would justify you, move on, meet new people. And it really, first of all, we need to understand, why did we break up in the first place? And once we do know, then we'll be able to, but one common ground that at least everyone, or, is common, is that you should be ready to like look at what is it that you as an individual that you could have improved leaving that relationship, because obviously you had a role to play when it comes to that breakup. You had some kind of role to play. So how can I also go moving forward? I don't want to repeat the same thing. So if I can at least pick out one positive thing out of it and say, you know what, fine, I did this, and I'm this kind of a person. Maybe I am a controlling person going forward. Some people, or we just won't accept that. So that's one common thing that at least we should be able to pick up moving forward from any kind of breakup.
All right. So a breakup doesn't have to be acrimonious, right?
Yeah, sure.
So how we break up determines how we relate with the person in
exactly.
the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we parted, sorry, let me just ask this. If we parted, if like Lucy is saying, we just decided, look, we're not compatible. So we're not enemies, but we understand, we just agree, look, we're not compatible. This can't work. And we parted. Does the same rule apply of don't talk to your ex?
I think one thing we need to know is the word breakup. It means there's always there's no easy, sweet part of it. Whether you decided to discuss and then say, by the way, you're not compatible, but there's always the hurting part that comes out of it. That's it's a breakup. And I think what will make you either to continue talking to the person you broke up with or not is if you've already picked up yourself and learned from it, like she's saying, and picked up the few things that maybe you think you also contribute to the breakup, even if the other person was wrong. But you realize that maybe the thing that made the other person act that way and end the relationship. So I think now the speaking to the ex part of it comes up, by now you grow up and understand that this one ended because of this and this. Yes, all of us got hurt, but you know what? There's still something better for us. So I think when all of you realize that we're learning from what happened in the past, yes, it became a wound to us, but we're able to close it up. And then I'll speak to you on an agreement whereby you're just a friend who made me learn some few things about relationship.
All right. that again, you know, it really takes a lot on the part of the both people, right?
So I think after the breakup, you should ask yourself a couple of questions. Like, why did you break up? What led to the breakup? And can you still be cordial with each other after the breakup? So if all of those questions lead to no, then you shouldn't communicate with your ex.
All right.
Yeah.
And there are the people sometimes who feel, you know, they're guilty. They played a role in the breakup. They feel they really played a role. Somebody might be feeling like, you know, Lucy was a very good person for me. I messed it up. Sort of the guilt. And then she's hurting and she's going through a tough time. Then they begin to feel they want to check out. Is she okay? They're not even trying to get her back. But they're feeling they're responsible for where she is at. Is that justifiable?
I think that's maturity. It's maturity. It takes some special kind of a person to to make that kind of a decision and have that kind of care, or, you know, seeing that other individual as a human being just like you. Because most of the times you won't find people acting that kind of way, but if you do, or if you are that kind of a person, then it just shows that, you know, you're the bigger person and that you're doing the right thing.
Maybe that's why that's why breakups, you know, people carry baggage, because of the finality that we have to breakups. Like, you have broken up, cut off your ex.
They didn't finish off the right way.
Yeah, and so maybe somebody has no opportunity to walk the other person, not because they're trying to draw them back, but just to make sure. I mean, this is somebody you loved at some point. Yeah. This is somebody you were interested in at some point. And so they're broken, they're wounded, they're not doing okay. And you just want to make sure, okay, we may not come back together, but I still want to know that you're okay wherever you're going, and I want to be okay. We don't get there with breakups, do we?
I think the reason why we can't get to that point is because probably there's a party that was disappointed. And at times when I keep on now poking the same wound, mostly the ladies will push you away. Because they feel, you know what, I reached a level where I trusted you, or there's something that I already given up to you, but I didn't get it back. I got something different. So I think you can communicate, but if the other party is not willing, you just keep it off.
Yeah, I think you should give each other time and space to heal before communicating again. And
also you communicate when you're not, you see, like, now, why should I communicate with my ex? Mending ways, I'm trying to make sure that she's okay and I'm married. So also I have to be careful whereby, why am I forcing it into her?
I don't know whether it's about forcing. I'm just thinking, are we very selfish with relationships? That, you know, there's that finality that it really doesn't matter how that person feels. Okay, so now I am married. Okay, I've moved on, then I got married. But the other person, probably now, the reason they're not even getting married is because they're emotionally broken. And then I've moved on with my life. I don't know whether that's a very fair thing to do. Should you talk to your ex? Yeah. Should you talk to your ex? It really depends on what you're talking about, why you need to talk. Exes are they're not devils, for the lack of a better word. Exes are not devils. You know, they're people that you loved at some point. They're people that you had goals, hopes, aspirations with at some point, and things just did not work. So I don't think we should demonize exes. But again, you've got to define grounds upon which you relate with everybody, not just people you've been in love with, just everybody, you know. You've got to define that. So if you don't think that a relationship is fruitful, beneficial to you, and helpful for where you're going, whether it is an ex, or you may be a man and then you've got your gang of guys, you may be a lady and you've got these ladies around you, and some of those relationships are not beneficial, then you make judgment based on that. So let's not just, you know, demonize a certain kind of people.